Welcome in, episode 117. What's Right with Nick Wright? Our wildcard weekend gambling show. The weekend that we reset the record back to zero. We look back on how we did. And first, we must recap week 18, where, sometimes I've got to say, Damonza, I even impress myself. The goal, as always, is to be profitable. The underlying goal is always to not make this whole thing look ridiculous. And going into the final week of the season, we were 6 games under 500, and we had a chance of looking ridiculous. And so, I took a big risk. I went against a lot of my principles. And we said we're going to bet every game on the board with the caveat of the Bills and the Bengals, because when were recording last week's show, we didn't yet know if they were going to be replaying their game. So we left that out. So we had 14 games. So we needed to go 10-4 to finish at 500. We needed to go 11-3, 78% against the spread, almost impossible to finish above 500. Blue Duck Media team, who produces this podcast and YouTube show us last week's results. 10-4. Oh, that's 11-3. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's the first 7 games. That's 6-1. We can go through them. Kansas City -9.5 at Vegas. Never a doubt. Atlanta -4 against Tampa. That one confused old Damonza. Came down the next morning. He was like, I don't get this line at all. I was like, I don't think Tampa's going to play their starters that long. Tampa jumped out 7-0. It's like, don't worry about it. Took the starters out. Atlanta covers. Miami, we got them +1 against the Jets. That line moved all the way to Miami -3.5, but that would have covered anyway, thanks to a safety on the final play of the game. If you had the Jets +3.5, oh my goodness gracious. Jacksonville -6 against Tennessee. Didn't cover. Minnesota -7.5 against Chicago. We told you Chicago was trying to get the number 1 pick. How could they compete? Carolina +3.5 against New Orleans. I honestly don't know who won that game. I just know it was 10-7. And no, the Carolina won. Darnold was terrible. They won anyway, 10-7. Darnold's quarterback rating in that game was 2.8. 2.8, and they won. For the record, I like to remind people of this. You get a quarterback rating of 39.6 for spiking the football. His was 2.8. Pittsburgh -2.5 against Cleveland. We knew Tomlin in a must-win situation against the Browns, he was going to show up. So that's 6-1. Show us the next 7 picks, if you would, please. Indy -2.5 against Houston. That's a loser. That's a loser because they converted a 4th and 12 and then a 4th and 20 to get in the end zone, or that would have been a winner. Giants +14 against Philly. They lost by 6. Onside kick at the end of the game. Or did they lose by 8? I'm not sure. 6, 8, 7, doesn't matter. They covered. Dallas -7.5 against Washington. Oh, we were on the wrong side of that one. That was a laugher. It was 26-6. Washington, they covered by 27.5 points. Doesn't matter, just one loss. Denver -2.5 against the Chargers. How right were we about this one? We said we think Denver can win outright because the Chargers are going to play their backups. The Chargers, because they're a bunch of dopes, played their starters almost the whole way. Denver won outright anyway. San Francisco -14 against Arizona. We said they're going to annihilate the Cardinals. First play of the game. Cardinals trick play touchdown. Oh my God, they're up 7-0. Doesn't matter. They rolled them. Rams +6.5 against Seattle. That game goes to overtime. Detroit +5.5 against Green Bay. They win outright. That puts our record on the year to 50, 48, and 2. Now, because we're fair on this, was that profitable? Not when you incorporate the VIG, right? We would have won 50 units. We would have lost, let me do the math here, 52.8 units, because you got to do the 10% on your losses. So a down 2.8 units technically with the VIG, but given the fact that we bet these things on Thursday, we don't have full information. Finishing above 500 is sensational. One last thing, because we're about to get to our season wrapped, and then we'll get to the shows. because to be fair, we had been updating this throughout the year, and I'll do it much more quickly this time. Go through our preseason bets. Baltimore, we had over 10.5. They finished at 10. That's a shame. The Lamar injury really hurt us, so that's a loss. Indy, over 9.5. Not even close. That's a loss. Jacksonville, over 6.5. Winner. Kansas City, over 10.5. Winner. New England, under 8.5. Oh, they came through in the end for us in a big way. Winner. Giants, under 7.5. Loser, so we're 3-3. San Francisco, over 9.5. Strong over. Winner by a mile. Tampa Bay, our single favorite bet of the year was the Tampa Bay under 11.5. They won 8 games. So that's 5-3 in our preseason win total bets. We feel good about that. Make miss playoff bets. Cleveland miss playoffs winner. Denver miss playoffs winner. New England misses playoffs winner. Denver was plus money. Cleveland and New England were minus money. Our 2 make miss playoffs parlays, we were close on this one. Minus 105 was the action on New England, Atlanta, the Jets, and Seattle to miss the playoffs. Seattle got in, so that's a loser. Kansas City, Baltimore, Indy, and San Francisco to all make the playoffs. That was plus 440. That's a loser. So we on the make miss playoff bets, we had 2 losers, 3 winners. That's profitable. And our season-long bet, Kansas City and San Francisco to be in the Super Bowl at 50-1. It's still alive. So 5-3 in season win totals, profitable. 3-2 in make miss playoff bets, profitable. Very profitable because we had plus money on a couple of them, and we'll see on the 50-1. So our preseason bets were profitable. Our regular season finished above 500. And now, Damonza, sorry that you haven't been able to talk yet, but I'm so excited before we get to these picks. What are we doing here?
11-3. So like how Spotify has this like rap thing where it does a little recap. Of
and subscribe to this pod on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere. Go ahead.
Yeah, they did a little seasonal recap for you, a little rap version by the producers in LA.
Let me see.
So first off, we've got, I don't know if we're showing, we're probably not showing.
We're showing it right there.
Showing graphics. All right, so best picks. We got divisional games 27-12.
Ooh, hold on. Let's marinate in this for a moment because this is, you know why that divisional games 27-12 means something to me.
Right.
Let's talk about this playoff weekend for just a moment. Miami Buffalo is a divisional game. Cincinnati Baltimore is a divisional game. Seattle San Francisco is a divisional game. So 3 of our 6 games this weekend are divisional games, and 27-12. What's that? 20 times 2.5, so 54. So we're at 69% against the spread in divisional games. I did that math.
Sounds
in my
like
head.
Patrick Mahomes.
What's that? Oh, is completion percentage? What do you mean?
Well, I actually guess Patrick Mahomes' percentage is a little bit higher.
No, 69% is almost exactly right. What's 27 over
divisional games?
Oh my God. That's this. What percentage is that, Damonza?
69 exactly.
69.2. God, I like when I do stuff like that. 27-12, 69%. What's next?
So next we got Road Dogs, 25-14-1.
So Road Dogs, again, we can do 62.5% against the spread. 25 plus 14 plus 1 is 4. Yeah, 62.5%. All right. So Road Dogs we like.
Yeah.
Divisional games we like. Keep that in mind for our 6 picks. That, by the way, I should have said this at the top of the show. We're picking every playoff game. We have a lifelong dream of going undefeated in the playoffs. They made it harder. You used to only have to get 11 games right. Now you have to get 13 games right because they added the teams. By the way, fun fact for anybody out there, no matter the format, any single elimination tournament, I don't care if it's the NCAA tournament, I don't care if it's the playoffs, any single elimination tournament, you can quickly figure out how many games are going to be played in the whole tournament. However many teams are in it, -1. Because everybody's got to lose at least once except for the champion. So a 68-team NCAA field, you know how many games there are? 67. A 14-team NFL playoffs, you know how many games there are? 13. All right, go ahead, next.
Fading Victor, undefeated.
Oh, that's unfair. Vic rallied. Vic was, show Vic, it's unfair. I wouldn't have let them put that on there. You had you were sandbagging us, Vic. Vic's, first weekend, I think it was 0 for 5, but then he rallied. So that's no problem. All right, next.
Yeah, same game parlay plus 32K.
That was the highlight of the gambling season.
Yeah.
And that moment sharing that bet with you and your reaction.
Big, huge bet.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it was. It was $800 at 40-1. All right, next.
Betting NFC East teams, you are 9-2.
Okay. All right. So those are my top picks. I feel like the opposite's coming on the old Spotify Wrapped ripoff we're doing here. What's next?
Worst picks, coming in at number 1 is 1-7 versus the Jags.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's the question that I would have here.
Versus the
Jags.
And
1-7 involving the Jags. And I don't know about this crying emoji, the graphic they have of me. Yes, I was bad picking the Jags singularly. But overall, I think I'm the rightest man in America about the Jags. Before the year, I said they could win the division. I bet them to make the playoffs, and I bet them to win 9 games. That's right all along. All right, what's next?
Except for when it comes to winning money.
Okay, shut up.
6-11 on the right move.
Yeah, you know what I've decided, by the way? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. It's like picking amongst your children. Like, you have to pick a favorite. You're going to get it wrong. All my picks I love them all equally. I was bad on my locks on TV. I was bad on the right move on this podcast. All the picks are equal value to me. I'm not doing that anymore. Next.
Okay. 12-18 for home favorites.
Okay.
28-2 in early windows.
All right. You know what? That's meaningless to me. The early window thing. I just think that's random. If I'm 28-2 in early windows and I finish the year 48-2 overall, I guess that means I'm 30-20 in the non-1 o'clock window, which is, I guess, maybe noteworthy, but I'm not sure. And what is this final bullet point?
Wait, 18-10 in the late window. Oh.
No.
I'm just confused.
No. Because I'd be 28-2 in the early games. And
copy.
You understand what I'm saying? So that would be 30-20 in the late games.
Honestly, guys, I thought when we put early windows, we were talking about like games where we bet early and the line value increase or something.
Oh, so no. I think they mean the 1 p.m. Eastern games. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
0-17 when claiming it smells.
It's not that funny.
0-17 when claiming it smells like 5-0. That is that funny.
That's not that funny.
That's freaking hilarious.
Okay, it's not that funny. I didn't have any 5-0 weeks. Okay? This was not but you know what? Maybe that means I'm going to have a 6-0 week this week. That's first of all. Second of all, I had no 0-5 weeks. They just cancel each other out.
Wait, what?
I didn't have an 0-5. Matt, correct us if I'm wrong. There's no way I had
a 1-4.
No, I had a couple. I think I might have had 2 1-4s.
Right. I don't know.
No 0-5.
Yeah, no.
0-5, you got to contemplate retirement. But if you flip a coin, the odds of getting it wrong 5 straight times is 1-32. I'm not going 0-5.
Are we throwing shots at Vic right now?
I told you, Vic was sandbagging. Vic was wanting us off his scent. He didn't want us to follow his bets. Vic, I'm with you. They're being rude to you, and I don't think it's nice. All right, we got more of these?
Yeah, so we got clairvoyant here. Like Jacksonville, better in London games, 1-0.
Oh, undefeated in London games. I like that. Okay.
And which one was it? It was the Seattle game.
No, Seattle. No, that was Germany.
Didn't bet. Oh, okay. Oh,
Seattle.
Oh, yeah, London.
Tampa Bay was Germany.
Minnesota, New Orleans was London.
Minnesota, New Orleans. So I might have been 2-0 betting in European games. I'm not sure. I know I got Germany right. 1-0 in London and London. Go ahead, next.
5-1 betting games involving Nathaniel Hackett. You gotta love that one.
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys we lost our opportunity. Now he's gone forever. But it was a wonderful moment in time. Next,
4-0 betting on Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's okay. That's noteworthy because he's in the
another
playoffs.
One coming up.
Yep.
6-0-1 beating on LA teams.
Betting on
LA teams.
Okay. All right. Noteworthy. All right. Last one because I didn't realize how long we were going. Go ahead.
Blind spots. Betting on AFC South teams 2-12.
A lot of that's the Jacks. A lot of that involves the Jacks. All right. Go ahead.
Betting against
top against the spread teams. So the best teams against the spread this year were the Giants, the Bengals, and Detroit. So that means their record against the spread.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I heard something about the AFC South in my ear. That's why.
okay.
But yeah.
Betting against the best
like Mike
teams against the spread. Yeah, sure. I'm 0-10. But Mike Tomlin's more historic, not so much this year. All right, go ahead.
You never took big spreads over 7, but or 7-2 when you did.
See, I like that a lot because I think it's smart that I didn't regularly pick huge favorites.
Right.
But when I did pick a huge favorite, it was because I zeroed in on it and liked it a lot, like San Francisco last week. All right. And then lastly,
no bets on Buffalo all season.
All right, that is a blind spot.
Guy's a coward.
That is a blind spot. That's not so much a coward as much as it is I tend to root against Buffalo, and I put my rooting interest ahead of my monetary interest. I didn't want to be in a spot where I had to root for the Bills. So I do agree that is a blind spot. I don't think it's a cowardly to not bet on the Bills. I think it was purely that I knew.
Yeah, I guess you do bet against the Bills. So
I bet against the Bills a lot, which is
right.
And they've been an excellent team this year. Okay, that's a great recap. It's a great job by our crew, and now we have good context for these picks. Well, we're gonna give you the 2 Saturday games first. First game of the weekend. San Francisco is laying 9.5 against Seattle. San Francisco is going to win this game by at least 14 points, likely by 17 points. I will lay the 9.5. Now, it should be noted, prior to this season, Pete Carroll was 8-2 against Shanahan. There's a weird thing in the NFC West where Shanahan owns McVay, McVay owns Carroll, and Carroll owns Shanahan. And then everybody owns the Cardinals. The Cardinals are just the odd man out there. But the Niners traditionally have beat up on the Rams. Since these coaches have all been together, the Rams have beat up on Seattle, and Seattle's beat up on San Francisco. This year, Seattle's 0-2 against San Francisco. That is an incredibly young defense in Seattle. San Francisco, while they have a young quarterback, they are so hard to defend because of how intricate and nuanced their run game is. Young defenders in particular are going to struggle against that. Geno, as much as I appreciate what he's done this year, Geno didn't exactly finish the season with a flurry. And Geno going against this San Francisco defense on the road, I think is a recipe for disaster. I think Seattle, if you've listened to Pete Carroll all week, he just keeps calling the Niners juggernauts. Unfortunately, we're playing them. They're so good. I know he's just saying that. He's saying something different to his team, but he also knows it's true. Seattle is in a spot where it's cool they made the playoffs. They probably would be going into the offseason with more momentum had Green Bay beaten Detroit, because then it's like, hey, we won our last game. We finished 9-8. And then you get to go on a high note. I think San Francisco absolutely rolls them. Also, I'm not sure I'm doing any teasers this weekend, but a 7-point San Francisco teaser, teasing them down to -2.5. So you get them through the 7 and the 3, feels like an absolute must. If you're going to tease this weekend, that is a must include leg to San Francisco -2.5. So I like the Niners laying a big number. I never lay big numbers, but as you said earlier, what did you say? I'm 7-2 when laying a big number, and I'm 27-12 in divisional games. This checks both those boxes. Go ahead.
So first off, I got a little question. Do you think Geno Smith's gonna have above 17 rushing yards since he's gonna be running around a lot, scared of San Francisco? Thought about adding that in one of my parlays last night.
Over 17?
Over or under? I wanted to take the under.
That's a tough one.
I know it's a weird one.
I got to tell you, you've never. I don't have a strong feel on it. Geno's not all that fast.
Right.
I would err to the side of the over there, but I've given you terrible parlay advice this year. You've also never dealt with, and this won't apply here because Seattle's not going to win. the single worst part. Anytime you're doing a quarterback rushing prop, you need to, it is scary to do on a team you think is going to win because the kneel downs at the end of the game count as negative rushing yards. And famously, in the Super Bowl.
But Gino wouldn't be kneeling.
Well, correct, because they're not going to win. But that's what I'm saying. Famously, in the Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl, Mahomes hit his rushing over by 7 yards. And then at the end of the game, took 3 knees. But they weren't regular knees because they needed to also burn like 7 seconds. So he backed up 3 steps on each one and lost 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, and went from over by 7 to under by 2 in the Super Bowl. And where that's a huge prop bet, and his ended up going under. So that the good thing on quarterback passing yards
also averages 5.5 yards.
Rushing.
Thereabout.
Oh, that's about right. The good thing about quarterback passing props is it's very, very hard to get negative passing yards. You throw a screen pass and you get tackled for a loss, but you're not going to go negative huge.
Right. Probably most of your netting is like 15 yards throughout a game.
If that.
Right.
If that. And you can't in college football, sacks count against your passing yards, at least for team passing yards. So I don't know if they do for individual players, but if you get sacked for 10 yards, it counts as negative 10 passing yards. That doesn't happen in the NFL. All right, go ahead.
San Francisco is on a 10-game winning streak right now, and teams on a 10-game win streak are 2-13 against the spread in their first playoff game.
Yeah, I get that.
Pretty noteworthy.
That usually means those teams are overvalued because of the Brock Purdy factor. I think the Niners are still undervalued. I think the people are still treating it like, it's a rookie quarterback in his first playoff game. But that team is quarterback independent. So I'm not worried about that. All right, next game. Guys. It's the Jags in a playoff game at home, and I'm getting points. What the do you think I'm going to do here?
Go
Jags.
1-8.
How dare you?
Against the spread.
Jags plus 2.5 against the Chargers. Mike Williams banged up for the Chargers because Staley's a dope and played him in that whole game until he had to be carted off the field as back injury. He didn't practice Wednesday. We'll see if he practices Thursday. We're recording this before that's released on the West Coast. They're at home. Trevor, how about this for a fact? This is unbelievable. You know how I always bring up Trevor's high school and college career?
Yeah.
All right. Damonza, NFL games are on Sunday. When are college football games typically? What day of the week?
Really, Saturday?
Saturday. Trevor played 3 years of college football. And high school playoff games are often on Saturday. The regular season games in high school are on Friday.
You're going to say that he's used to playing on Saturdays?
Oh, I'm going to say he's never lost on Saturday in his football career. High school, college, pro. Look it up, America. Trevor Lawrence, undefeated on Saturdays. That's impressive. For a guy who played 3 years of big-time college football, he went 48-2 or 38-2 or something in college. He only lost twice. And those 2 losses were in a playoff scenario where they were not being played on Saturday. Also, going back to college, Trevor Lawrence, the year they won the national championship, had 1 bad game when he was a starter. That was the ACC championship game to get into the playoff. Then in the playoff, he was excellent. Jags-Titans was not the ACC championship game. It was the de facto AFC South championship game. He didn't play that great. But now he's into the playoffs. He's going to be awesome. Staley's going to make some head-scratching mistakes. The Jags getting points. They're going to win outright. They're at home. Book it. What's the problem?
All right. So the problem is, I mean, you're obviously 1-7 betting with the Jags, but
Okay.
clearly you don't care about that.
Mhm.
When the Jags allow more than 14 points, though, Trevor Lawrence is 6-22. But I'm assuming since it's Saturday, this doesn't really matter.
Well, no, it's not because it's Saturday. It's here's the thing. How could he be 6-22 when this is his rookie year and they don't play 28 games? So I'm not factoring in anything that happened last year. I will tell you something that happened this year. The Jags played the Chargers, and the Jags won 38-10. 38-10. The Jags are winning outright. Trevor is coming to Arrowhead with it. It's going to be Mahomes, Trevor, with a trip to the AFC Championship game on the line. Book it. That is happening. Unless, of course, either the Bills or the Bengals get upset, then he won't get to come to Arrowhead because they reseed. So I'm not worried.
How are you feeling if Trevor Lawrence goes and beats the Chiefs?
It's literally the only scenario where if the Chiefs win, I'm fine. What people on television, fans are going to mock me because the guy that I am the biggest national advocate of beat my team? No. It's the only scenario where the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl where I still win. So I'm fine with it. We got 4 more games to pick. We're going to take a quick break. Come right back. What's right? Wild Card Weekend Gambling Show. All right, welcome back in episode 117, our Wild Card Weekend Gambling Show. We already gave you Jags plus 2.5 and the Niners minus 9.5. All right, we have 2 Sunday games that we don't, as we record this Thursday morning, definitively know who the quarterback is. Okay? I obviously don't love that. But we're going to keep doing these picks as scheduled, and we'll deal with it. The first one is Miami at Buffalo. Miami is getting 13.5 points. I believe Teddy Bridgewater's going to play. If Skylar Thompson plays, I'm bleeped. Okay? I'm just going to flatly say it. If Teddy plays, this line will go back closer to 11. Miami has played Buffalo incredibly close both times all year. It's the third matchup. Miami has shown that they can deal with the cold as they did when they Miami was up 29-21 in that game a few weeks ago. Furthermore, I think it's now okay to say this. I hope it doesn't come across as insensitive. Now that we know DeMar is healthy, I think he'll probably be at this game. We can talk about, I think, the actual impact of not having DeMar Hamlin, the football player, for a game like this. So DeMar was their backup safety, stepped in valiantly for their all-pro safety. Now they're on their third-string safety against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Furthermore, if a team can ever look somewhat unimpressive scoring 35 against the Patriots, I feel like that was Buffalo this weekend in this one regard, Damonza. They had 2 kick return touchdowns. There are only 5 in the league all year. They had 2. So that's not happening again. It was a beautiful human and football moment. I don't think that's happening again. Mac Jones looked like a real quarterback against this Buffalo defense. Teddy is better than Mac Jones. Now, he also threw 3 picks. I am not picking Miami to win the football game, obviously. However, 13.5 points for a divisional rematch when Miami won one and had a fourth quarter lead in the second is way too many points. I am taking Miami plus 13.5.
So this bet, actually, it's 2 of your blind spots. First of all, betting Buffalo and betting on a big favorite.
Okay, but also hits 2 of my strongest points. Road dogs, I'm 25-14. Divisional games, I'm 27-12. There's a road dog in a divisional rematch. I just think 13.5 is too many points. Again, if Skylar Thompson is playing, this thing probably is 14.5, and I lose value on a point. I think Teddy's going to play. I think Miami is going to, at the very least, be in it for a backdoor cover. They could be down 20 in the fourth quarter, and I could still be alive. I'll take the plus 13.5.
double-digit underdogs are 3-11 against the spread in playoffs since 2011.
Okay. Okay. I'm taking Miami plus 13.5. You're not talking me out of it. Minnesota, -3 against the Giants. I think people have gone a touch too far on the Vikings in the negative way. Okay? So,
you were one to talk.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I feel like you've never been very high on the
I'm
Vikings.
I'm not high on the Vikings.
Entire season, even when they were really rolling.
Yeah, agreed. And I think because I have such a valuable, trusted voice in the marketplace that my Vikings pessimism has infiltrated the marketplace, and now they're slightly undervalued. I think Minnesota, in this spot, should be a 4-point favorite. They're a 3-point favorite. They're at home. They objectively have the better quarterback. They objectively have the scariest player in the game in Justin Jefferson. And their biggest weakness is their pass defense, and the Giants don't like to pass the football. Do I think Daniel Jones is going on the road and getting a playoff win? I don't. Do I think the Vikings are a contender? No. Do I think that they should be a 4-point favorite at least? I do. Minnesota -3, possibly a push, but the line is where it is our pick. What's up?
I had a little bit of a change of heart.
Why?
You took this exact same matchup earlier at +4 on the Giants.
When they played earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say that they have like the better quarterback and everything.
Okay. I took the Giants +4. Minnesota won by 3. That's a big point, isn't it? I took the Giants getting 4. The Vikings won on a 61-yard field goal at the gun. Cash my bet. Had I done, if that spot was minus or +3, that would have just been a push. That's a big point.
Okay.
It's a big point.
QBs making their first NFL playoff start have gone 17-36-1 against the spread.
Yeah, and listen, I'm obviously on Brock Purdy making his first playoff start. But I'm against Daniel Jones making his. Okay. This game is I almost shouldn't pick this game because it's Baltimore +8.5 at Cincinnati. If Lamar plays, it'll be +4. If Snoop Huntley plays, it'll be +7. If Anthony Brown plays, who played this team last week, it'll probably move to 10. I believe that there is an outside chance Lamar plays, and if not, Snoop Huntley's going to play. Go ahead.
I just this is going to be kind of this. I just thought about this guy. Like, what if that guy watches the podcast?
Which guy? Anthony Brown?
Yeah,
and I just fried him?
like...
Anthony Brown, listen, I enjoyed watching you at Oregon. He didn't expect to be starting a playoff game either. He knows it's true. And if you are watching the podcast, Anthony, get in the playbook, buddy. We got you +8.5. Here's the thing. So, Cincinnati, Joe Burrow has struggled against one defense this year more than any other, the Ravens. He threw for 215 yards, then 217 yards. He has 1 touchdown. He has 1 turnover in their 2 matchups. Baltimore won the first one. Cincinnati won the second one this past weekend in a game they should have been able to blow them out. They didn't quite. They blew them out early, and then Baltimore kind of clawed back. Additionally, Lyle Collins, the Bengals' right tackle, is out, and Alex Kappa, their right guard, is probably out. That Baltimore defense has been sensational. Absolutely sensational, particularly since getting Roquan Smith. So even if the quarterback is as big of a discrepancy as you're ever going to get in the postseason, other than Mahomes versus the decaying Ben Roethlisberger in the first round last year, Burrow versus Huntley or Burrow versus Damonza's buddy Anthony Brown, Baltimore's going to run the ball, play great defense. That is too many points for a divisional rematch with an excellent coach and an excellent defense. I'll take the +8.5.
Even not knowing who the quarterback is.
I gotta, you say that, but no matter what side I pick, I don't know who the quarterback is. Yeah, obviously, I would maybe wait. one of the guys at my poker game got so mad at me. So I played poker twice this week, Monday and Wednesday. So Monday, I got there and this guy was like, hey, I want to put a huge bet in on the Bengals. Should I wait or do it now? They were 6.5. And I was like, I think Lamar's going to play. And the line moves to 4. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I think he is. And he's like, okay, I'm going to wait. I think this guy's going to bet like $20,000 on the game. And then I got there yesterday, and then the line moved to 8.5, and he was heated. He was big mad. He's like, what the F, man? I'm like, sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you can cash out on those. It's not the same game parlay.
No, he waited to bet. He wanted to bet Cincinnati, and he could have got him at -6.5. And on my advice, waited.
Wait,
and now they're
about this last game? Or are you talking about
no. The game coming up. Listen, he wanted to bet on this weekend's game on Cincinnati. Cincinnati was a 6.5 point favorite, so he would only have to lay 6.5. I told him to wait. They're now an 8.5 point favorite, so he has to lay 8.5. So he's upset with me. All right, lastly. I mean, we've been throttling towards this point all year. Tom Brady getting the best draw possible and all of a sudden showing up in the conference championship game. Tampa Bay +2.5 against Dallas. I think they win outright. I did get this at +3 early in the week, and I got this on the money line early in the week. The Cowboys are coming off their worst game of the year. Tampa Bay, Brady said it, is the healthiest they've been all year. They might have Ryan Jensen back, their Pro Bowl center, who's been out all year. The secondary's healthier. They're at home. This is a game that the Tom Brady flatly wins, and we start having a real conversation about Dak Prescott and about Mike McCarthy. The Bucs can't run the ball. I don't think they'll need to. The Brady and Evans combo will work. And also, I pointed this out on TV after Jason Garrett said on Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys on turf, on grass splits are unbelievable. On turf, they are 11-1, scoring 27 a game and allowing 18 a game. On grass, they are 1-4, scoring 20 a game and allowing 28 a game. So the offense gets worse by a touchdown. The defense gets worse by 10 points when you go from turf to grass. Tampa Bay is grass. And by the way, the Cowboys' one loss on turf all year was against Tampa Bay, week 1, 19-3. Tampa wins. Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat for Sean Payton. There's real questions about, is Dak Prescott just Kirk Cousins with better with mattress commercials? I like Tampa here.
All right, so obviously you're 4-0 betting with Tom Brady,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm messing with it. I was going to say something else. Brady has failed to cover as a home dog only twice in his career, against Peyton Manning in 2005 and Joe Burrow this season.
All right, I think that last stat is a little misleading because I bet Tom Brady hasn't been a home dog more than 7 or 8 times over the last 15 years. Because Brady teams at home would not be underdogs very often. I love Tampa here. We talked a lot about this game in the Thursday live show, and we've talked a lot about it on TV, so I don't need to get into it further. But Tampa +2.5 is our pick. We've got we might have some exotics. We definitely have an offer. We'll do all that as we wrap the gambling show next. What's right? All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Wildcard Weekend Gambling Show. Quick recap of our 6 picks. San Francisco laying 9.5. The Jags getting 2.5. Miami getting 13.5. Minnesota laying 3. Baltimore +6.5. And Tampa +2.5. Baltimore +8.5. I don't know what I said. Sorry about that. We have we don't have a lock this week because we're not doing locks anymore. I've decided we're done with locks. With all our picks, we love them equally. We're not doing locks. We do, however, have a couple exotics for you. So you guys, Damonza, you guys have a teaser that I think you want to suggest to me.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
The 7-point tease of the Bengals, Bills, Bucks, and Niners.
Okay, so teasing the Bengals, that would be teasing the Bengals to 1.5, teasing the Bills down to 6.5, teasing the Bucks up to 9.5, and teasing the Niners down to 2.5. That's not a terrible teaser. I'm not gonna lie. There's actually you going across key numbers, but it's a 4-team teaser. I'm gonna stay away from that one.
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
You're in on it.
Yeah.
That makes me a little nervous for you, buddy. It also means we're going to have conflicting rooting interests on some of this stuff, which I never enjoy watching. You know, don't put it in just yet. Okay, let's discuss. Just don't put it in just yet. Here's the teaser I'm going to make. A 2-team 7-point Saturday teaser. We are teasing the Niners down to 2.5 from 9.5. And we are teasing the Jags up from 2.5 to 9.5. So the key numbers of 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, all of it, we are coming through them in both directions. The Niners have to win by a field goal. The Jags just either have to win or lose by less than 10. That's the teaser we're doing. Also, full transparency, I did not get good line value on any of this. However, and you know how I know I didn't get good line value? Right now, my cash out option is for half of my original stake, which kind of sucks considering the fact none of these games have kicked off. But
that always happens. So I get bad line value all the time.
Man, it's obviously the worst. So I, Monday morning, put this bet in of my 6 picks this weekend. The Niners minus 10. So I lost a half point of line value. The Dolphins plus 11. So I lost 2.5 points of line value. The Jags on the money line. Tampa on the money line. Baltimore plus 6.5. I lost 2 key points of line value. And the Vikings minus 3. That is 63-1. So the Jags to win. The Bucks to win. The Dolphins and Ravens, Vikings, and Niners to all cover. That's my parlay I have actually placed. What's the offer from you guys before we wrap it up?
Okay, this week's offer is the Jags money line at plus 114. Plus 114. Trevor over 248 passing yards. San Francisco minus 16.5 is at plus 196. All of this combined for plus, what do you call that? 11 to 1? No, 11 to 1, sorry.
It'd be 11 to 1.
Right.
Plus 11, 10.
248.5 to be exact, so 249 passing yards.
Damonza, I'm taking that offer. The Niners are going to blow out the Seahawks. The Jags are obviously going to win. I'm a little nervous on the Trevor over because this might be a big Travis Etienne game, but Trevor in his first playoff game is going to play well, especially after being shaky against the Titans. 11 to 1. We accept that offer. What's up?
I got to admit, man, I'm going to take this offer. I've never even taken the offer, and I'm the one always giving it out. I've never taken it once, and
it's hit a few times.
Yes,
it's hit a few times. Our offers have been good. We haven't really done a lot with it, talked about it much because we're a serious operation, and these are all wacky 12 to 1, 20 to 1 long shots. Yeah. But yeah, playoff weekend, we're in on it. All right, we will see you guys on Monday. Damonza, real quick. Do you smell that?
Smell 0-18.
Do you know what that smells like?
It smells like what? 6-0?
Smells like 6-0. Smells like 6-0. And we'll be more than halfway or almost halfway to our 13-0 dream.
Yeah, so at least if you don't end up going 6-0, you will be 0-1 for times that you said smells like 6-0. It's different. Usually it's 5-0. Now it's 6-0.
Smells like 6-0. We'll see you guys Monday. What's right? Hey, it's Nick Wright. Thank you so much for watching. Please do us a favor. Click subscribe. It helps my ego. And Damonza's got a financial bonus writing on a number of YouTube subscribers. So help him out. And also, click the bell. I don't know what the bell does, but they tell me to tell you to click the bell. And your audio listeners, people that have commutes, drives, whatever it is, subscribe to the podcast as well, wherever you get the podcast. Same show, just in your ears instead of through your eyes. All that, check it out. Appreciate y'all.